Hey, Funkers, how's it going? Long time no see. It's been a week. It's been a week since the last episode, and a week has gone by with a lot of things happening. Today, on episode 3 of Following Funky podcast, I feel like after being in Germany for more than more than enough time to kind of get a grasp of a few things, which, by the way, I have a few things I want to cover. I feel like, I mean, it's still premature. Disclaimer: I am very prematurely still in Germany. I'm not making assumptions or anything political. It is merely just my observation about the world around me in Germany, Dresden specifically, Dresden, Germany, more like. And I notice a lot of things that I feel a little different, but I feel like I want to cover it. But before that, I want to also go over how my first official week is. I know that kind of sounds really weird, but I think last I trying to recollect my memory on what I covered. So basically I think this formula will start to manifest more and more as we go on. I might cover the first like 5 minutes or so, explaining how the week went, anything interesting or worthwhile noting. I mean, it's called following funky. So, I feel like it's not obligation, but I feel like it makes sense to kind of implement an idea of, hey, I'm here, might as well talk about my life, and then I'll talk about other things while I'm at it. So that's the plan. That's what I plan on doing. And so starting off, so frankly, it's kind of funny. So last week was officially the orientation week. So I know that I think I feel like I keep saying that, but basically I might not have said it with you guys, but I was thinking about it a lot. So last week basically was just one big. It was orientation slash get back into the groove of things kind of deal, and it was one of those things that I desperately needed, and it was a great thing that it happened. But yeah, so it wasn't officially the actual starting, like it wasn't the actual beginning of the year in a way. It is technically, but they acted as if it was just getting back into the groove of things. So yeah, so that's what basically happened. I So between Tuesday to Friday, I got to know my classmates more, which is freaking great, honestly. I am having a blast being with them. It's very fun. They're a very fun group of people, and it's kind of, yeah. I'm glad I came here. I really have. I mean, duh. I think it's an awesome opportunity to be in Dresden, Germany, of all places, and I get to have the opportunities that I get on my own to go and explore places. But you know, sorry, I'm just gonna. There you go. For the most part, like for me, the most enjoyable times in any trip is the people I meet. I am the kind of person that can you could take me to the probably one of the coolest or best places in the world. If I'm not having a good time or I'm not really interacting or being with people that I feel like I really am connecting with, I'm not going to have a good time. Even if a lot of good shit happened, I just remember it as like I didn't do much. It was quiet. I didn't feel comfortable. Like that was the kind of deal. I mean, there's other things that do influence it, but a grand majority is my comfort levels around the people and how much I can fit in. I'm not saying I'm a social anxiety person or antisocial or anything. It's just that's one of the biggest things that has influenced me as a person. Anywho, so I got to meet my people more, my classmates more. They're great. Honestly, I'm excited to bring any more news or any things, talk about them a little more as I get to know them more. But that's basically what happened. I kind of covered the whole week. I think the most notable parts were Saturday. Saturday it was pouring. Oh no, actually, I'm so sorry. Friday we went and there's this party that I was invited to, and I went. And so those stereotypical like movie parties, like you go to you're watching a movie. Okay, for example, I think 16 Candles had it where it was the protagonist's crush, like the main guy, the hot guy, and he was having a house party, and it kind of got chaotic, but not too chaotic. Maybe it got a little more chaotic. It was like that party, but just not as, it was toned down. It wasn't as crazy. It wasn't as yeah, but it was fun. I had a blast. It was like the first time I actually felt like I was in a legitimate, like, crazy, like, I don't know everyone, but I'm still gonna have a blast party. So that's what happened Friday. Saturday came. I slept in like a baby and then woke up to it pouring, absolutely pouring. Like it was heavy rain for about 3 hours. And my problem was I had to leave. I had to get out of the apartment because I had to go buy not only food, I had to go to the mall, which I'll cover that again in later on, but a mall. I had to go there. I had to go buy a toaster, which I finally have. I can now toast my toast, and if I really want to, which I don't think they have gluten-free croissants, but you know what? Maybe if they do, perhaps they have this thing on their toaster where you flip a switch, and then these two like prawns pop up, like, and you could place your croissant on the top of it, and just turn on the toaster and the heat will emanate and cook it. It's so cool some of the shit they've like thought up. It's crazy. I find it so cool. Anyway, so I bought that toaster. Oh, I got a shirt. I got a shirt from Canada Dry. It's not called Canada Dry. It's called Super Dry. Fucking I love their tank top. So I got a cool looking tank top. So I got that, and then came back home to the apartment. It was still continuing to rain, and yeah, it would just it was funny. It continued to rain. I was still soaking wet. I had a jacket though, and I still wore it, but the amount of pouring was just absurd. So I think the rest of the day I ended up cleaning up the apartment because I let it loose a bit. It got a little out of hand, etc., etc., whatever. Oh, actually, also on Saturday, I did get to interact with Boyle Beneath. So shout out to him. For those of you who are in my community, you'll be well aware of Boyle Beneath. Shout out to him. I was watching one of his streams for a bit, so that was nice. And yeah, that pretty much sums up Saturday. Sunday, I think. Yeah, I just continue to clean. I binge watched The Matrix though, so because of those of you who know, there is a new movie coming out. There's a new movie coming out in December, the fourth movie of The Matrix, and now that I've seen the whole series, I'm kind of like, whoa, okay, this is gonna be interesting how they bring it back. Because spoiler alerts for those who have not seen The Matrix at all. I think Neo dies. What's her name? I forget her other name. The other female protagonist dies. Zion is saved, but the machines are still alive and all that. All the main plot points have all been concluded. Like there's nothing to continue on. Other than maybe continuing on, maybe the human race is getting back on its feet. Anyway, so I watched that because of the announcement of the new movie, and then I did go outside actually. I told myself, Funky, you better get the fuck out of the apartment at some point, because I technically didn't leave it for almost like 16, 17 hours. and it's a Sunday. It started to get sunny. I couldn't do that to myself. So I went and enjoyed the massive park they had. They call it the something garden. The Golder Garden. I'm gonna butcher the name. You might see a caption if I remember to do so, but if not, I will. Yeah. Anyway, so I went there. The garden was just I'm dare say just as big as the New York Park, Central Park in New York. It's huge. It took me like almost an hour to get from one end to the other. It's a rectangle, so I went from the bottom to the left and all that. So anyway, that happened, and then I went home, made dinner, and then yeah, I got ready for the official beginning of this week, which yesterday was pretty good. We had one last orientation seminar kind of feel to introduce everyone in all three bachelor levels. And then we did some classes. And then today I woke up at 6. No, quarter to 6, 7-ish to get to a class at 8. And my God, that was, it's been so long since I've woke up that early. Like it's kind of nice getting back into a groove like that. Because I feel like I was happier as a person, when I was, waking up to like an absurd time, bitch and moan about it for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then, go on with my day. And then, I feel like I was a lot more happier. Anyway, I'm hoping the same thing will happen. And as of right now, no, sorry. It was nice. It was really nice doing that. It was, waking up, doing classes all day. Such a blast, really. And and so I finished at 5. So from 8 to 5, I was doing all sorts of classes, which was nice. And then came home, showered, made some dinner, spilt food all over the fucking apartment floor. Pissed me off because I was going to record this sooner, but nope, fucked that up. And so that basically concludes this week's roundup of what's going on with Funky. Eventually, I think at some point, you know what? I'm looking at time. It's already like 12 minutes in. I think at some point, I think I'll get good at this so I can continue, like cover it up within 5-10 minutes, like all the notable ones, and then just move on. Hopefully. So anyway, I think, okay, so the main topic, I feel like so there's a lot of things that I've recently started to learn in Germany that is very different. So I think one of the most the most apparent thing you're going to learn when you arrive in Germany, or I think in Europe in general, is that their toilets are different. Now, I understand that maybe for some of you who do live in Europe, you might not know what I'm talking about. But in Canada, you have the stereotypical toilet. You see, it's you got the bowl, you got the tank, and all that. It's separate. Like it's not attached to the building itself. It's like, or to the room or to the wall. It's not implemented. It's kind of its own separate appliance. In Germany, it is attached to the whole design is based purely attached to the wall. So everything, the button, the tank, and all that, you're literally sitting. The toilet is there. You sit down. If you lean back, you're leaning against the wall. There's nothing between it, except for the button. The button is just at a perfect height where if you lean back, you're gonna hit your head on the button and accidentally make it flush, which I'll admit has happened to me once. I think another big thing was I already said it. The toasters. I looked. I made sure. I double checked just in case. But every single toaster has something like that because I guess bakeries. I think baked goods are just such a thing here. It's very interesting. Another thing. I'm not. Maybe this isn't as big of a thing in just purely in Dresden or in Germany, but a big thing I really noticed, or for me, was they okay, in terms of transit, so they have subways, they have buses, they have streetcars, they have everything. The one big thing though that I've noticed was they trust you to pay for your ride, which I gotta say that's some pretty big balls move on Germany's part, risking probably a fuck ton of revenue when I think half of them don't. Like they do kind of do what the typical like countrywide like cross countrywide like trains do, where eventually the conductor, no, it's not the conductor, yeah, no, I think it's the conductor, comes and like checks if you have your ticket and whatnot, but they don't do it every day. So there are days where you won't get checked and there's days you will get checked, and I guess it's a gamble on both ends. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how like you could get away. Like for example, I'm not illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal. Funky isn't an illegal dude, but you can get away with probably like they. I remember going on the transit for like so many times last week. I didn't get checked once. However, that might change. I'll let you know when it happens, if it happens, and how that experience was. So yeah, that's one of the big things. They trust you on getting those tickets, which is kind of crazy. Actually, it's kind of crazy. If you wanna be very sneaky and all that shit, come to Dresden, Germany, where you can probably get away with it a lot. Another thing. Oh, actually, that was such a crazy thing at first. Another crazy thing is that um so in Toronto, for example, they have these like public bikes that you can use, you could borrow, you could rent, like you rent for a certain amount of time, and then you put them back in the station. You pay a certain amount, and you can use it for a certain amount of hours. They have that not only with that, but they also don't have state. So not only that, they also have scooters, electronic scooters. I tried seeing if I could get one to work. I didn't really get it to work. Although it was 1 in the morning, so it was late, it was dark. I don't think my phone could scan the barcode and shit, so it kind of didn't work. But I've seen it so many times. You could just, and they're laid around everywhere. They just leave it whenever the timer's up. They don't try. Actually, as a matter of fact, I haven't even seen a single station for the bikes, let alone the scooters. So it's kind of crazy watching. It's kind of crazy just walking by like 10 of these suckers in a row, all laid about poorly, but they're just there sitting ready for the next person. It's kind of crazy. Um, oh, there was another like crazy. Not a crazy. It was not crazy, but it's definitely some things that you're like, whoa, okay, that's not in Germany. Oh, actually, funny. It's funny. As I'm trying to remember, I so that comment I made, I think in episode one, go check that out if you haven't seen it. But in episode one, no, episode two, sorry, check it out in episode two. I was talking about how I've only seen one franchise purely for groceries. I stand corrected. I have found two other kinds. Although I have only been to I've only been to two of the three. There are three, and as a matter of fact, the building that like has the Netto store, the Netto franchise store that I go to. On the other side, there's another one, and my friend who also came with me from Canada to here for 4 months found it. And I think yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday. She was like, "So you going to the grocery store?" I'm like, "Yep, we're going to the grocery store." And then she went one way and I went another way. I'm like, "Well, where are you going?" The Netto's right here. Is like, "There's another one." I'm like, "There is?" So I don't have to smell all the recycled bottles and beers and all that. I just remembered they another big thing. So I know it's in I guess here and there later in Toronto, for example, it might be different in every city, but one thing I noticed is that in certain areas in Toronto they have these like designated beer bottle recyclers, so you put them in and you get some money paid back. Well, they have it in every single store, every single Netto store. It's crazy. I mean, it's a good initiative to get the whole save the planet Earth kind of deal, like save materials and all that. It's kind of crazy how much of a push that is for. Uh, but I didn't realize I didn't realize how much of a push that an initiative they have. But it's just another thing I noticed. And I feel like there's one other thing. There's totally another thing. Let me quickly go over. I know there's another thing. It is, can't seem to fucking remember. Ah, whatever. Oh, people. A lot more people smoke. Yeah, no, it's so in like for example, you're gonna in every city you're gonna have someone who's a smoker. I get that. But the amount of people I've seen in Dresden, especially young people my age, even younger, all smoked. Like I've seen so many people smoke, and it's kind of crazy. And I was like, imagine I was like looking at, I'm like, damn. And it's so public too. Like I know I saw a kid who was sitting there across the street from me on the opposite bus stand or whatever. He's definitely like he looked like a 13, 14-year old kid who looked like he was trying to fit into the local mob or mafia or whatever the hell. Because he looked like a punk. He looked like a guy you don't want to mess with, but he looked 14 at the same time. Anyway, he just literally out of the random just like pull out of his pocket, put it in his mouth, lit that bitch up, and just went away. And I'm like, you look 14. Are you sure you should be doing that? I mean, of course, I would never engage in a local on that shit because that's kind of the thing. Everything here's so different that you really can't make a statement just because you live somewhere else, which is cool. I think I respect that 100%. It's kind of cool to really see that, Yeah, there's a lot of things. The idea that coming here is an amazing experience on my end. Coming here and doing a daily life for 4 months. I know that compared to everyone else I know who are going to be here for the next 2 years, I think I'm only here for 4 months, but for 4 months, that's a lot. Like it's amazing for like you're living the life here every day. You're being part of the locals. You're taking the transit. You're going to buy food. You're making a living. You're going to school or working. And just being a part of that whole culture. I mean, it shows it defines its difference as its country. At the same time, it doesn't. Maybe I'm being way too obscure with what I'm trying to say, but it's really interesting. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's a different feel. The whole idea itself is very intriguing in my mind. Now it could be very different for everyone else. Might not be. Hell, half of you probably won't give a shit. I don't care. I'm just that's kind of the point with this. I'm trying to relay my experiences and all that, which I think I've started to understand as I'm talking to you on this episode's podcast on what this whole thing's about, So yeah, I think looking at the time, definitely time to wrap it up. It is 24 minutes, so yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, and if you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to, if you feel like there's someone else out there who is into this kind of shit and would relate, or maybe not relate, but just enjoy my talking for some fuck all reason, feel free to hit that. Go share it. Go send it to some of your friends, and maybe make them join the funk. I I don't, name work in progress, but just join the Funkers. And yeah. I now made an official schedule too. I'm now posting every Tuesday. You're gonna get a very, I know I should be doing it like Friday or something, but I don't know. Just because of fate and just how, since I've arrived on a Tuesday and ever since then, I've just been making a podcast every Tuesday. I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to continue doing that. So, you know what? Just remember, Tuesday, following Funky podcast. And, yeah, thank you all so much. Links are in the description for all the other kind of links that I have or do and whatnot. So, until then, it has been an honor. Fierce and Funky, signing off. Sayonara. Oh, I got it. German, or saying bye is tschüss. So, let me reiterate. It has been an honor. Fiercely Funky. Tschüss. On the run like two thieves. Time to kill a night young. Love just moving our lead. As if I was cast to play your misses in the story like a period plays the end of sentences. This ain't the end, this the genesis. Appreciate you, honorable mention, dedication. Let the music make you move with the groove, move like